All right, Cody, let's please knock off the music, my friends. No time for it. This is what everyone in America is talking about today. Shall I read you the statement? All right, my friends, that is what has got America up in arms. Donald Trump saying we need to stop the flow of Muslims into this country. So, he has been naturally, predictably attacked by everybody. Carly Fiorina says it's an overreaction, and she says, let's not violate the Constitution. Memo to Ms. Fiorina. The Constitution is violated daily by someone in league with the terrorists who wants to destroy America. Why aren't you yelling about that? We're not violating the Constitution. The Constitution protects religions, and Islam is not a religion. It's a cult. It's a political movement. It's not a religion. Fiorina also said that Donald Trump's overreaction is just as dangerous as Barack Obama's underreaction. That may be the stupidest thing said in 2015. You cannot overreact to the Muslim threat. San Bernardino, Ground Zero, Fort Hood, all across Europe, in Asia too, in China. Barack Obama is underreacting because he wants terrorism to come to America. Donald Trump, I don't think he's overreacting, but let's say for argument's sake he's overreacting. Is he overreacting to save American lives and to protect our security? All the PC police, all the press release writing candidates, all jumping on the bandwagon, jumping on Trump, but he's the only grown-up in the field. What he said on that video clip, and I'm going to play another one for you on this show, what he said is right. It cannot continue. We've got to do something. We've got to do something. Stopping Muslims from coming into the United States is an excellent first step. But it's only a first step. The Fort Hood massacre, the Boston Marathon bombing, San Bernardino were all done by Muslims who are here already. Trump is talking about surveilling mosques and closing some mosques. That's nice, but that won't do it. We've got to close all the mosques. They'd be wise to do that in Europe. And why they haven't done it over the decades in Israel is anyone's guess. Islam is a cancer. It only metastasizes. It doesn't get better. It doesn't go away of its own volition. It needs to be cut out. If you think I'm wrong, okay, go on the internet and look at what's happening in Europe. Look at Denmark. Look at Sweden, which is now the rape capital of Europe thanks to its Muslim immigrants. Look at Germany. Look at France. Donald Trump is the only grown-up because he's willing to say things that are correct, even if everybody hates them. And that really, when you cut right down to it, that really is the test that America faces right now. We know the problem. We know the solution. The test is, do we have the courage and the strength to go with that solution, to opt for that solution, to implement it? If we do, we can save ourselves from Sharia law, from beheadings, from rapes, from cars burning in the streets, no-go zones where the police don't dare to venture, anti-Semitic attacks, churches being burned. That's what's in our future unless we act, and that's what Donald Trump is saying. We must act. He could not be more right. So when the politicians jump up in the bandwagon and say, I can't believe what Trump said, what they're really saying is, we want terror. We want beheadings in the United States. We want jihad to come to America. That's what they're saying. Trump is saying no. And I join him in that. Because I've got children and grandchildren who are going to be living here in this country for a long time, and I don't want them to have to face this horror. So I applaud Donald Trump for having the brains and the strength to say what he said. Now call me and tell me what you think. We'll go to a break. We'll come back. This is a call-in show. Let me know where you stand on the issue. It's Riell Truth. I'll see you in a few minutes.
We all know that our government is out of control. Who are the point the people in it? How can we, the people, bring it back to the people's service, not the people's masters? Liberty found in the freedom of the state. Officials in government must be made accountable for their actions. AccountabilityRevolution.com is the place to go to learn how you can actually make that happen. Become their judges, not their slaves. AccountabilityRevolution.com.
Folks, welcome back to Riell Truth. I am Howard Riell, and it may be that nothing more important has been said in 2015 than what Donald Trump said yesterday. Here it is again. Yes, it's tough stuff. That's one way to put it. It is a razor on the throat of America. And this point in time, this moment in time right now, is when we can begin to address it. Let San Bernardino be a wake-up call. Islam hates us. What about the Muslims who sit and do nothing? Well, that's that couple in San Bernardino who sat and did nothing right up until they started murdering people. What about Muslims who were peace-loving and law-abiding? Well, like the Tsarnaev brothers were peace-loving and law-abiding right up until they blew people up at the Boston Marathon. What about people who are here living next door to us in America? The Fort Hood shooter lived right next door to us in America, highly educated. And he decided it was time for mass murder. So if you hear, and you will, if you hear people saying, "Oh, I can't believe what Donald Trump said," I want you to set their asses straight. Be respectful. Say, "Schmuck, Donald Trump wants to save America. And by the way, because we are America, all of Western civilization follows after us. And so what Trump is doing will have like ripples on a pond. It will have a ripple effect across the world. Trump is saying, modesty prevents me from saying this, my friends, but I'll say it. Trump is saying what I've been saying on this show for years. You got to man up. You got to gird up your loins. You got to do what up until now has been unthinkable. And it sucks. This is not a happy decision. It's a decision that we are being forced into by Islam. And now is the time when we've got to do it. Stop Muslims from coming into this country? Yes. Stop illegals from coming into this country? Yes. It's only common sense. It's a decision that the previous generation, our parents, would have had no problem making. Well, of course you have to do that. Why are you asking? That's what they would have said. Only today, in America, which is confused and dazed and lost and off balance, only now do we begin to question whether or not we have the right to protect our own border. Whether or not people whose holy book tells them to kill us have a right to come in and kill us. It's an America of insanity. And so when someone shows up speaking common sense, like Donald Trump, like Howard Riell, the only time in my life I'll ever be referred to in the same sentence as Donald Trump, people go, huh? What? What did he say? I can't believe it. Those are people who've been conditioned to be victims. Those are people who would rather surrender innocent lives to slaughter than be thought un-PC by their friends and colleagues. Well, my friends and colleagues know that I'm not PC. I'm not a politician. I'm not a clergyman. I don't need anybody to like me. I'm free to speak the truth. Other radio talk show hosts may not be because they've got paying gigs and they don't want to lose their jobs. I don't get paid. So I have no restrictions on speaking the truth. Stopping Muslims from coming into America? That's something we should have done years ago. How many people would be alive in San Bernardino today if we had? And in Boston, and at Fort Hood, and on September 11th? How many people in Europe would be alive now if they put controls on their Muslim population? Instead, our leaders are bringing them in by the hundreds of thousands. Western civilization is committing suicide. And I won't have it because I live here in Western civilization and my children live here and one day my grandchildren. Do you think I want my children or grandchildren to walk down the street and be accosted by a group of Muslims, beaten, spat upon, God forbid, raped? Would you want that? What's that? You don't? Okay. Then get behind Trump. Reach out to the media. Call the newspapers. Call the radio and TV stations. Get on the internet and say Trump is right. Trump is right. Of course he's right. Obviously he's right. It's only the obviousness of his rightness, if I can coin a terrible phrase, that has everybody screaming. Liberals all over the country are screaming. Here's a truism that you can always depend on. If what you're doing makes liberals scream, then what you're doing is good. Now, I've got several news items here about Trump saying this, but I don't know if I need to go through them because you've heard the video, right? Let's do one of them. From the Holy New York Times, as denunciations rained down on him from Washington and around the world, Donald Trump on Tuesday defended his call to block all Muslims from entering the United States, casting it as a temporary move in response to Islamic State terrorism and invoking President Franklin Roosevelt's actions towards Japanese, German, and Italian aliens during World War II as precedent. Stop. Temporary, yes. It's only a temporary move until... Well, Donald Trump hasn't yet called me to ask my opinion. Probably he will, but I can't be sure of that. So I'll just put that over the airwaves. How temporary should this ban be? Well, when America goes a year without an Islamic terror attack, then I'd say, okay, we can lift the ban, let them back in. Let 365 days go by without a jihad attack somewhere in the world, and then it'll be safe to undo the ban. And if that won't happen, if we can't go a year without a jihad attack, then what the hell do you want Muslims flowing back into this country for? We've already had Syrian refugees who turned out to be Muslims. This couple in San Bernardino connected to Muslims. By the way, the $10,000 that was given to them and all the weapons, where did that come from? Didn't come from Muslims over in Europe or the Middle East. Came from people here. Folks, this is life and death. Anybody watch The Godfather Part 2? I know it's a non secular, but stick with me. Michael Corleone is talking to Robert Duvall, and he says, Fredo has a good heart, but he's weak and he's stupid, and this is life and death. My friends, our politicians in Washington are, by and large, weak and stupid. Our diplomats are weak and stupid. Liberals are weak and stupid, but this is life and death. This is life and death. The life and death of Western civilization, which is already groaning under the weight of who knows how many evils that have scampered out of Pandora's box. This is the most blatant. And if we don't take steps to stop this evil, then we'll be consumed by it and all the other evils. It's time to slam on the brakes as a country and as a society, as a Western civilization, and say, no, we recognize that we're headed downward, that we're on the verge of being taken apart, and we say, no, we won't allow it. How do you begin? This is how you begin. Critics ranging from House Speaker Paul Ryan, a Republican, to Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid, a Democrat, assailed Mr. Trump's proposal as self-defeating and un-American. Stop! When did national suicide become an American value? Barack Obama said it's not who we are as Americans. Well, he's a schmuck. Who we are as Americans, we're a society that reacts to threats and defeats those who want to kill us. That's who we are. That's a value. It's self-preservation. It's hardwired into all human beings except liberals, apparently. Harry Reid says, tell Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, tell Donald Trump hate is not an American value. Hillary Clinton's value is greed and power. She doesn't know what American values are. She wants a weakened America, because a weakened America is an America more in need of government. More in need, she hopes, of her. The super PAC supporting Jeb Bush, former Florida governor, unveiled its first attack ad against Donald Trump. Jeb Bush is a zero. He's a nothing and he speaks for nobody. But consider what he's saying. His brother was president during 9/11. He doesn't care if jihad continues in America as long as he gets to be president. Hillary Clinton doesn't care if innocent people are massacred as long as she gets to be president. So tell me, are these people that you want in charge? Or do you want someone with enough guts and enough smarts and street savvy to tell us the truth at a time when it's critical, no matter who likes it? That's leadership. That's what we need in the White House. We'll take a break. More Riell Truth to come.
We all know that our government is under control. Who are the point the people in it? How can we, the people, bring it back to the people's servants, not the people's masters? Liberty, crime, and the freedom of religion say officials in the government must be made accountable for their actions. RealTruthRevolution.com. Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies reminds everyone the chance of involvement in an auto accident rises dramatically with the consumption of alcohol or use of drugs. Please think before you drive. Don't let drugs or alcohol ruin your life or take the lives of others. You are responsible for your own safety as well as the safety of those around you. This message from Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies. For information on their services, call 970-484-7981. Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be custom tailored capabilities as modest emergency lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Great Plains Power is a full-service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15.
My friends, welcome back. Howard Riell Truth. You know, Donald Trump is smart and he's tough. Someone else who matches that description is Judge Janine Pirro. I think I've got a caller on the line. Have I call you there?
Yes, I'm going to say about three things just about confirming what you're saying.
All right, first tell us your name.
Okay, my name is Ann.
Thanks for calling, Ann. What would you like to say?
As one of the animal funds, we know that at least 95% and upwards of the Muslims in America voted for Obama.
Right.
When Obama was on television, we step on all of us. When Obama said, referred to his Muslim faith, and then either intentionally or unintentionally, Mr. Step on all of us, said, you mean your Christian faith? He was able to basically speak to the Muslims and say, refer to his Muslim faith, and then right on top of that, lie.
Right.
What they know. Okay, so here in the metropolitan area, I would say at least the majority of the 18 to 30-year-old young Muslim men know the following, because they said this to my friend who was below them after they turned off their heat in their apartment, and my friend was below them, and freezing the pipes when they went away in December, and he was away during the week of Christmas. When he came back, his computer room was flooded because of the pipe breakers from above, and they said to him, when he asked them about it, they said, we are going to take over your country in 7 years. There is nothing you can do about it. 1990s through about 2011, and reports that it all said that basically 80% of the Muslim clerics taught violence to the infidels.
Absolutely.
Here. And what another goes on anyway is that Saudi Arabia buys property and is in the name of is entitled to the Saudi Arabians to start a mosque. Then they buy up the property 2 blocks surrounding that mosque area. So that becomes a no-go zone.
Right.
We know all these facts about who Obama is, and 95% of Muslims vote for Obama. They know who he is. We talk about that all the time. And the Pakistan Minister of Industry in 2011, just about a year and a half after, 2010, Obama was in office, he called for Obama to be the caliph of Islam. That's how caliph since 1928.
Do you think Obama is not already the Caliph of Islam? He's the most powerful man in the world.
Yes. And so he's the president over the great state. America's the great state. Obama is the president. So he's president over the great state. So why wouldn't Mr. Durrani, you and I proclaim that? So we don't get, I just love this station because it tells the truth of what's going on. And we just have the 6 corporations that control the 95% of India. So anyway, thanks a lot for that. We need to contact our county GOP chairman, and we need to vote for real constitutional Republican candidates. Because in 2008, with the election of Obama, the Communist Party, USA stated, we know we now control the Democratic Party. There might be some good Democrats out there, but they're not allowed to win the election. We have to force knowing that our candidates stand for constitutional representation, and we have to get them elected, and that's some of our not be doors for on the Democrats as well as the Republicans. And we have to know that those Republicans are truly Republicans, and it's the real Republicans that can turn us around. And if we get complicated and think that a third party is going to work, we're not.
Well, hang on a second. It's real conservatives who can turn this around. Unfortunately, there aren't all that many Republicans these days who are real conservatives.
We have to find these button people. Every U.S. House of Representatives, if he's up for re-election in 2016, you have to think of all the, I would say, most real professional people who are strong, true constitutional. They know the Constitution, what the rights are, because there's good do-gooders out there, and then they get bought off. Anyway, and we've got 24 of the 26 U.S. House senators up for re-election. So we have to get out there. You can't just say in an office and do nothing. You have to contact Google your county, whatever county you live in, and you have to contact your GOP chairperson. And then you talk to that person. You make sure you heard and you get them with the facts, because a lot of folks are doing all this is involuntary wise. So, people aren't being paid for this, but the Democrats are. But there are 2 positions every day on Craigslist for those people who will be willing to tear down the right. I saw that a few years ago. I haven't been here in a while. But they have the most number of job positions available when you go to Craigslist to find a job. And that's the most popular way to find a job. And anyway, they have always supported, probably, I don't know how many years now.
All right, and we're coming up on a commercial. I want to thank you very much for taking the time and the trouble to call. I agree with everything that you said.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for calling. My friends, Anna's completely right. We need better politicians. Why? Because politicians are the levers through which we affect power in this country. And frankly, we've got piss-poor politicians who are worried about being popular and getting reelected, and if that means people have to die, well, that's okay. Because right now, there are a lot of politicians out there trying to make points by attacking Donald Trump. What they're really doing is attacking our national security. All right, we got a break in about a minute. Let's fill it with some news. Item from rhrealitycheck.org. Illinois Township High School District 211 reached an agreement with the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights this week that will allow a transgender teen to use the locker room that matches her gender identity as long as she changes in a separate changing area. Students will be offered accommodations to change separately if they wish. The 5-2 school board vote in favor of the deal basically upholds the school district's position, which has been the subject of much public dispute over the past 2 months. The settlement only pertains to the student who filed the federal complaint, does not mandate a district-wide policy. It does, however, now my friends, this is the key sentence, so listen. It does, however, allow the district to keep $6 million annually in federal Title IX money. Stop! We talk about politicians being whores. Here it is. School districts, counties, cities, states, they all get money from the federal government, and so they're all beholden to the federal government, which is run by Barack Hussein Obama. And so because politicians are whores, and because they're like drug addicts who've gotten used to the drug, and now they have to have it, school districts will do insane things because they've got to get their fix. It's repulsive, it's destructive, it's insane, and it's America in the 21st century. We'll take a break. I will be back. Hell of a show, huh? Oh boy. You too. Get busy, get vocal, get active, get on the internet, contact your local media. Tell them Trump is right. I'll see you tomorrow.